Hello everyone, welcome to a new presentation by Assistive Touch. This will be on the Chameleon. Enjoy the presentation.
All right, hi everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you the Chameleon Braille display available from APH. This is just part one where I'm going to be doing an unboxing and an orientation to the device itself. So when you first get it, it comes in a box about the size of a shoebox. When you open it up, the first item is the Chameleon itself in the plastic wrapping. Just going to set that aside. And the Chameleon itself is about the size of, I'd say, a paperback book. I'm going to put that aside for a minute. Let's see. The next item is in a skinny box, a cardboard box. And in this box, there is a plastic baggie that has a wall adapter on it and the charging cable, which is in another plastic baggie held together with some twist ties. And that is a USB-C that you can use for charging and for connecting to a computer. I'm going to set this aside as well. Next in the box, there is, it appears to be a hard, I guess, cardboard container that doesn't have anything in it. So underneath, we have what appears to be some print documentation. Another piece of Braille paper, I believe, which says, oh, okay. So they come with tactile bug stickers that you can feel. I'll hold them up to the camera. And they're labeled in Braille. It said caterpillar, bee, butterfly for people who can see it. If you want to decorate your device, there then seems to be some Braille documentation here, which is the Chameleon 20 Getting Started guide. We'll set that aside for a little later. So print and Braille documentation and some stickers. And there's another cardboard layer that I'm going to remove. Feels like there's maybe one more layer of cardboard. There's a box here that took up pretty much the entire bottom half of the box. And this has the various cases. I believe the cases are black, purple, and I think red. So it's in a plastic wrapper here. And there are, appears to be two silicone cases. Three. Let's get them completely out. these are something you could decorate. And it looks like there's an opening in the front that is biggest, and some openings on the side. You can feel a little rubber push area. So I am going to get this display into the little rubber silicone case. There are rubber feet at the bottom of the silicone case. The slit in the back of the case lines up with where an SD card would go. Doesn't seem like there's an SD card in it right now. And now all the buttons are open and ready. And there was one more item in the box, another tiny little box, which I believe is now the case that you can put over the entire unit. So there's a silicone rubber case, and then there is this cloth case to help with dust. And it has a big block of styrofoam in there. How do I get that out of there? There's, it seems like it would be a zipper. How do I undo this? I'm gonna push the styrofoam soft and squishy out of it. There's one of the do not eat packets in the middle. And there is what seems to be a small fabric, what would eventually be the carrying handle. And let's see, I'm still trying to figure out how this opens. Please hold. Okay, you can just pull them open. I thought I was going to be breaking it, but they just kind of had some adhesive things. I'm peeling off some adhesive with my fingernails. And now I'm going to stick the silicone cased braille display. Where did I put it? Back in the box. I'm going to put it inside this cloth case. The biggest opening seems to be in the front where you can have your thumb keys. Doesn't seem to be any particular trick for getting it in. I'm just pushing. It seems like it fits pretty well. Pushing in the other side. And this is going to be snug. Trying to get in that last tiny little piece. Okay. One side. So I realized one thing I was doing wrong is that there is a little flap that needs to go over the keys themselves. And I had that underneath the device instead of over it. I'm wondering if it's not designed to fit with the silicone case on. I'm going to take the silicone case off while I am doing that, so you don't just have to watch me struggling to get the unit in. I'll tell you, this device has a Perkins style keyboard on it. So it has 6 braille dots, and then it has 2 space bars underneath the braille display that do the exact same thing. It's just supposed to be whatever is easiest for you. Okay, now it fits. All right, so you have to pick if you want either the silicone case or the carrying case for it to be in. So when it is entirely in its case, you can then take the cord and just flip it onto these 2 little hooks that are there. And I'm gonna do that now. And the hooks are in the front, and you can just clip them in. It'll make the whole thing look a bit more like a purse, so you can carry it over your shoulder. Okay. So once it is all set up, it looks like this in its case. The braille display is at the bottom, and the flap of the case is up at the top, and it closes, seems to be magnetically. Okay, I'm gonna put the box that everything came in aside. I have the Chameleon on my lap here. And as I was saying, there's the 6 Perkins keys. The key on the far left side of the device is key 7, or the backspace key, and the far right key is the enter key, or .8. In the middle of the front of the device, there are these raised bumps. Those are called cursor router buttons, and I'm going to point to them as I'm showing you. Those make it very easy to move your cursor around so that you can input and edit text. The 20-cell braille display is at the bottom front, and just below that are 2 spacebar keys, as I was saying. On the front face of the device, the very front, there are 4 keys. These are thumb keys if you're familiar with humanware products. The one on the far left is the previous button. It has a little marker pointing upwards to tell you that's how you move up through items. Next key to the right is the left panning button. It pans the braille display to the left. Then you have the round home button. Then you have the right panning key that also has a line pointing to the right. And then you have the next button that will go further into your options. Along the left edge of the device, there appears to be a standard USB port that you could put a thumb drive into. There is a very small power button. It's very flush with the device, but there is a bump on it, so you know where it is. And then there is the USB charging port. In the back, there is an SD card slot. And on the right side, towards the back, there's an audio jack. and there is an up and a down volume key. And at the very front, there's a tiny little speaker. Uh, on the back, if you take the unit out of the device, of its holder rather, there is a set of Phillips head screwdriver screws holding in the battery that you can change yourself if you want, but you don't want to mess with that too much until it is necessary. So I'm going to turn this device on for about 3 seconds, holding down the power button until it vibrates. 1, 2, and it came on, and the display says starting, and there's an indicator on the braille, a series of dots spinning around in a circle. This is the first time this device has come on, so we'll see how to go through setup. So it says language, English, that's what I want. And you might have heard it speaking. You can toggle the speech on this device by holding down the space bar and the leftmost thumb key at the same time, but I'll leave the speech on for now. I'm going to hit the enter key. English. Okay, so my options are English or close. I'm going to hit the cursor router button above the word English because that's also a way you can confirm things. How do I move past this? I'm going to hit the close button. And then it says Espanol. Which I don't want it to be in Espanol. I want it to be in English. All right, I did a space bar with dot 4 to make it go forward to the next item. And it says restarting. Okay, I don't know what happened, but it now says editor. So editor is the text editing faculty. It's a basic notepad not meant for making advanced documents with heavy formatting. It's just a scratch pad. I'm going to hit the rightmost thumb key. And then there is terminal, where you can connect this device via Bluetooth to a computer or an iPad or smartphone. Library, where you can download different books from Bookshare or NFB Newsline. File manager, where you can go through everything you have downloaded or created. Calculator, a basic 4-function calculator. Date and time. Settings. Online services. And the built-in user guide. So right now, this is all showing in uncontracted Braille. I am going to do a G with a dot 7 to toggle through the grades. And G is dots 1, 2, 4, and 5. And If I do that with the backspace key or .7, it should change the grade. And it said contracted braille. If I do it again, it says computer braille. And if I keep toggling through, uncontracted and contracted braille. Contracted braille is how I like to read. And a note, when you are in computer braille, you have to add in one of the space bars to your G with the .7 so it knows that you're trying to type the computer equivalent of it. Otherwise, you'll be doing a capital G. Then you have power off, and then back to editor, and then braille editor. And it goes through the list. The entire user guide is on this device. I would recommend you start there. You can use first letter navigation. I'm going to type the letter U on the keyboard to go to user guide. And then I'm going to hit a cursor router button to say this is what I want to open. And now it is loaded and it says Chameleon 20 user guide. I can use a G chord, which is G with a space bar, and have the voice read it to me. I can use my left and right thumb keys to read the display in Braille instead, if that's what I prefer. Or I can use the space bar with dots 1 to go back or 4 to go forward in order to read line by line. Version 2.0. And we're getting into copyright information from APH. So this is where you would start. I hope that this unboxing and startup for this was helpful. I'm going to hit my home button, which is the round button in the middle. It'll always get you back to your main menu. I'm going to hit P for power off, and I'm going to hit a cursor router button. And it will take a minute to shut down, but it vibrated to tell me that's what it was going to do. I would recommend that you charge this device shortly after you get it so you don't run out of battery power.